Okay, we should be live on the YouTubes. What up, world?
What up? What up?
How goes it?
Oh man, it's the day before a holiday. We're rocking it.
Yeah, it's funny. You got me. Like, God, how often can you get me in video in a hat, Jimmy? Like, next to never.
Very,
But it's
very
definitely the
seldom.
day before a
Seldom.
holiday. Uh, yeah, Jimmy and I were like, Jimmy's like, "Are we doing Jimmy and Johnny today?" And I'm like, "Sure." It's like, you know, it's 30 minutes of our lives. We got good stuff to share. Might as well get into it. And so here we are, day before a holiday, Jimmy. That's commitment.
We got the Fourth of July on the brain, no doubt about
It's right there, baby.
it.
So, so talk to me. What have you been working on this week? What's your big stuff?
I have been knee deep in our how do we just say marketing made easy or our marketing automation machine, setting up automations and things like missed callbacks and setting up Instagram. So if somebody puts in a keyword, it kicks off an automation and helps with the follow through and getting things all going. So I've been knee deep in automation this week.
Yeah, I've been doing some direct outreach. So we we put out there. I don't know. If you guys don't know, we email, I don't know, 100,000 emails a week. Uh, go out from us. So we get a lot of responses, and we got like over, I think it was over 2,400 people that have expressed interest in our growth partner program that we just very initially put out there in the footer of an email. Um, and it's an interesting program, and it's about how we pour our resources into helping companies grow, and it's kind of cool. So it's like not traditional investment. This is you know companies that you're going to hold all of your ownership and your equity, but we partner with you and we map out a plan that we know will work to get you forward. And we help you implement it. And it's pretty cool because, say you're doing 3 million today and we can get you to 4. Well, what's that worth to you? So we put it together, we get a small percentage, and boom, we're off to the races. And it's always been at the backbone of almost every big deal or company thing that Jimmy and I have done. That was initially what it was, and it became something else. But it when we put the framework around it, when we talk about what it actually, when we look back in hindsight, right? Always 2020. I look back at them, and those were all growth partner deals. Like, so when I look back at Spiffy, right? Spiffy was a growth partner deal. They wanted all of the skills and abilities that me and my company had. They didn't have a lot of money at the time. That was before we raised any money, and now we've raised over $100 million. It's worth over 500 million. So that was a pretty good growth partner deal, I think, for everybody. Um, but that's what it was at first. It was, how do you get the most and you pay on the upside, but you get a lot of skills and ability today. So the growth partner program that Jimmy and I talk about is essentially that. We look for companies that are already having some success. We don't want the struggling, you know, like if you're down and out, you're not our client. We're looking at, 3+ million. We're looking at 10 to 200 employees. That's like our range there. So, it's not for necessarily the struggling little guy, but if you already have success, like today, Jimmy, I was talking with a company that's been around for a long time. They've had some uh, you know, succession in leadership over time, and that's all good. Like that to me, shows the longevity. But they were missing all of the fundamentals of what I traditionally look at, and I started doing this. So what happens is people expressed interest in us. They may come and check us out. We have a lot of technology that tells us who these people are. Same technology we employ for people, and so we start to dig into them. And some companies, it's like a no-brainer. Some companies, it's like, they're not there yet. Maybe they should go and, try some of our other products. Or maybe they're just a really good fit and they're a successful company that really could grow much better and faster if they had a bit of technical savvy and some modern day expertise. So that's where I've been spending a lot of time on. And I don't know if you want to dive into it a little bit more today, Jimmy, but it's not a bad topic for today's call.
Works for me. We've had many successes, and we've had to tell many people no.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen. Let's see how this goes. The this thing always wants to fight with me. Let's
Always,
see if I can
never
get
ends.
this. I just got to get it in the right place. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to restart this again, see if it'll give me the tab I want. Okay. I don't know if you can see it yet.
I can.
Okay. Okay. I want to start here because it actually explains the framework kind of the best. So you can see that, Jimmy, the entirety of that?
I can. Nice little image. Yep.
Okay, so for those folks out there that want to understand this, and this is something you can do for yourself. So what we're teaching today isn't like, ring us up and try to put a deal together with us. This is understand the process and decide if it's for you. You can absolutely do this yourself. And there's just steps we follow, and they're just very formulaic. We've been doing the same process. I've been doing it through coaching, Jimmy, since I don't know, 2007. And it works the same. Okay. It has nothing to do with, is the process outdated, because the process produces phenomenal results. Technology changes all the time, but the process and the phases that we'll walk people through today and talk about are everybody can do it. Everybody should do it. And if you don't have a structure and framework to grow your business dramatically, then this is a great framework for you. So I always talk about grow: goals, reality, opportunity, and way forward. So, right, you got to have goals. So if we know what your goals are, if you're at 3 million and you want to get to 4 million, okay, that's a goal. What's the reality? I'm at 3.1 and it's 6 months into the year and I want to be at 4. Okay, well we got some gap there. What opportunities are in front of you, right? And then they might explain to us. They're like, well, we have this deal, that deal. We're working on this. We're working on that. And a lot of times there's just a lot of listening, right? For me, especially when I'm coaching people through this, because I'm taking notes, right? I'm like always scribbling down, taking notes, and I'm writing down all the opportunities, because even when I do it and ask Jimmy, I call Jimmy up sometimes and I'm lost, right? You just have so much stuff going on, so much on the table. It helps to talk it out, right? So, they list out all these opportunities, and sometimes they clue in on one, or some just I might recognize as a good opportunity. So the thing that happens is we ask them, we say, hey, you talked about these, you really got, excited about these had the biggest, possible upswing. What do you think? And we explore those and we dive into them a bit. And then ultimately by the end of the conversation, we pick a way forward. So what we're going to be working on between now and the next time that we speak when we're coaching, and it's the way forward. So you pick 3 things, and I'm going to go add these elements to make my online presence, better, right? Facebook tag, Facebook pixel, Google tag, analytics, identify lead for website visitor identification, and I'm going to put a lead capture. Okay, awesome. And that I know right now, if anybody doesn't have those things, you do those, it will make a big difference. So when I hear those, or I see those at first, those are things that I clue in on. But the way we actually get there in the beginning is the first thing that we do is we do what we call an assessment. Okay, so it's our business assessment. And this thing is, I don't know, Jimmy, what's it, 100 things, like a checklist of 100 things?
Yeah, about that.
And it goes,
a little more.
It goes through everything. It goes through people and systems and service and marketing and sales and management and financials. So it's a yes or no thing. It's a yes, no, I don't know. Literally, that's how the format is. It takes 5 minutes to do. And once you do that, it lets us know where you stand. And no company has it all. So if you go and grab the assessment, we'll give a link to it, and you go through it, and you hit 75 of them. That's not bad. I'll tell you that.
Right.
When you get over 80, you get into 90. Like your company is usually in a really good, rock solid place. But we know the difference in those, say, 70 to 90, those 20 there. There's certain ones that make the biggest change or benefit for you. What's the old thing? Little hinges swing big doors. There's certain little hinges in there that can help swing bigger doors. So when the first thing we do is we just do a blanket assessment, and Jimmy and I both can look at it very quickly and understand where your business is. But then we'll go through that grow process that we talked about. We'll start to identify what we think. We'll throw out some of the things that we think are the opportunities, and you help us work through them. Okay. So that's like the first step, phase one. The next is, what I talked about, which is that grow strategic plan. We actually put together the plan and we start to work on it. And there's another version of this that Jimmy and I threw around not too long ago, which was USA Maps, right, Jimmy? Right?
Yes, sir. My favorite.
Yeah. What's it? Understand, systematize, automate, and then a massive fucking action plan. Pretty similar, right? Either one of those apply, but in essence, we understand where you are. We start to put a plan together, and that's a strategic plan. And then ultimately, we click in and we start to focus on operational excellence. It's usually before we really press marketing. And if you've ever heard us talk, we talk about we could market you out of business. So we could go and we could spend a bunch of money and drive traffic and drive business. And if you're not operationally sound and prepared to deliver that, you will just fail faster. So we look at your operations, we identify and make sure that you can handle what we're proposing, because people always say, Jimmy, that, oh, I want to double my sales. Well, that comes with maybe double the headaches, maybe triple. Okay. And if you're not ready for it, it can be a lot. It's like drinking out of a fire hydrant, but with experience, you can avoid those. So I wish I had my slide, Jimmy, with the girl like with the garden hose in her face. Right. And then after we do that, we jump in and we focus on marketing superiority. So let's see if I pop this up. So we want to identify what is the best marketing that your particular business can be doing. And it doesn't matter, right? We work with HVAC. We work with, I've obviously a lot of experience in car care, all kinds of people, realtors, lawyers, doctors. It doesn't matter, because every industry has their own kind of benchmarks and best practices based on growing the business. As long as we understand that, we start to work and figure out what you have and don't have in your marketing arsenal. And it's all becomes more of this plan, right? This is a constantly building plan. But one of the first things that we have to do is we have to identify the perfect customer. And that's like, you look at who your existing customers are, you look at who your best, right? 80-20 principle, Pareto principle, who are the best customers, and, we can identify from them and build this, avatar profile is what we've been calling it lately, on your perfect profile customer. And that we can then go out and find more of them. So that's like really important. So it's understand what marketing we want to do. So that's really the medium, like where are we going to put this stuff? And then the ideal message. So it's message, market, media, 3 things. And this is like kind of working through those same 3 things in just a little bit different format. And then ultimately we have to come up with your $1 million message. So what is your ultimate solution that you're bringing to these people? And how do we craft that message to be compelling, benefit rich, not feature driven? And how do we craft that message and then build it in a way that we can use it in different platforms, and we can build a cadence of getting the message out. So if you see with us, we do it ourselves very naturally and religiously, but we'll start talking about a product, then we'll start talking about the benefits of it, and then you'll start to see offers and things come out about that product. It's very formulaic how we do it, and we've been able to do it, as you get better at it, it comes a little bit more naturally. But ultimately, once we have those three things in place, we understand, message, media, and market, then we can really start to hit the gas. And that's when a lot of automation and things come into play. So, the automate portion of it is core marketing systems. When we talk about systems, we're not talking about one-off. I heard somebody the other day, they just finished a job. They sent a message to their office and said, hey, send this guy the review request, send him a thank you card, which they've never sent a thank you card out before, and then ask him for referrals. Okay, those are all great things to do, like rock solid what you should do when you finish a job with any customer. But it's not a system when you're just phoning into the office and expecting people to run in circles. In our world, you can click a couple buttons and deliver all of those same three things. Could happen very naturally, and you can build upon it without having to kind of stir the office up into a shit show. So we identified core marketing systems, right? And I've mentioned some of them, right? So there's different pieces. There's leads, right? You got to be capturing leads and constantly building a list so you can nurture them. So that's, a lot of times these days it's digital, but it's brick and mortar. Jimmy and I work with brick and mortars all the time. We own brick and mortars. So, we work both digitally and brick and mortar, but there's core systems that every business has. If I'm a restaurant, I'm having a loyalty program, I'm having a rewards program, I'm having a monthly newsletter, birthday club, anniversary when you join the club, right? All of a sudden I have this core marketing system that all I have to do is feed it. So I get a new customer, right? And it's, how do I go get a new customer, right? Well, I look at the ones that I have, and if I'm good, I have a lot of information on them, I can go find more like them. And you know who they usually are? They're their neighbors and friends. And so,
right.
Ding, ding, ding. Lesson number one to restaurant folks: give your existing good customers something to get their friends to come in, and then get their information. And then, and then it becomes like the core market. I'll talk about, then it becomes about getting tons of these high value customers. And it's just like I just said for a restaurant. Once you get the core systems in place and you can feed that machine, ultimately you want to feed it more. So it's really taking your best customers, taking that perfect profile, and then figuring out where they are. And if you're an HVAC company, right, one of the best things you can do is if you notice that a certain neighborhood you're doing a lot of work in because of the age of the neighborhood, and this is very formulaic. If I know that I just went to this new neighborhood, all the houses were built at the same time, and we've had 3 calls there the last month. Well, guess what? That whole neighborhood is getting ready to be in the same position of needing to do very similar stuff. So why wouldn't you, at that rate, go and door knock, mail, or get the people that you just did work for to refer you to their neighbors, because those people are going to be the same type of customer. And if you're putting in a new system for $8,000 to $13,000, you can imagine that that neighborhood is going to need a lot more of them. And then work backwards, work to the next oldest neighborhood if you haven't done that already. And then you can almost plan the future of when these neighborhoods were built and what equipment they have, right? Go walk around the neighborhood and look at the equipment, right? You're a train rep, go look and see what they have. And then you can, the lifespan of that thing. You can imagine you just went walking around houses one day and, you can almost see it. And if you're good enough as an HVAC guy, you could probably tell what that thing is from a mile away, right? It's like, okay, 224, looks like they got a 2-ton carrier, and it looks like original install. That tells you something, right? Now you can start identifying these things. Use Google Maps, right, Jimmy? You could look from the sky.
Yep.
Right, the air conditioning units are so obvious. So there's a lot of little things you can do, but it really becomes about having all of this, like identifying your growth plan, getting solid operations in play so you can build the marketing, grow the marketing and operations together, and then fuel that baby. Like just keep fueling it. And you can have referral programs and refer a friend and thank you packages for people. All those things can be done, and they're all part of the customer life cycle, the freedom formula that we talk about. There's all different points along there that you can be doing things. So when people look to work with us, we go through this process and we go through the business assessment and the grow formula before we actually agree to do anything with them. I'd rather invest that time. It's an hour of our lives to get to know them and understand if we're a good fit and good partners, or could be good partners. And then ultimately, Jimmy, it's follow-up bridges, and that's about, creating customers for life, getting those customers to come more and spend more. So that's a lot of what we do when we talk about growth, and we look at businesses that want to grow and want to partner with us. And if you're interested in that, you can go to mysuccesssystems.com/growth partner, and there's more information there. There's a form to fill out if you want to reach out to us. You can get to us a million ways to talk about this. If you want this, we're putting this in a new business growth blueprint book that'll be out next week. So you guys can have that as well. But we all can be doing this, and we all should be taking this systematic approach when we're looking at our own businesses and we're looking to grow our business. If you're not doing this and you're knee jerk and running around and you feel the chaos, it's because you're not following some of this basic stuff that makes it easier.
Stop going after the shiny objects.
Yes. So did I explain it pretty well, Jimmy?
Yeah, it was a really good nutshell. Yeah, you basically were teaching all of our friends, if once they get that assessment and they sit down and look at it, and then they go through the grow formula and they make a plan, they'll be off to the races, with or without it.
Yeah. And we share this. This is something, if you guys want it, this is this particular page came off of Marketing Made Easy. But there's in-depth explanations of each one of those steps, and we give it away. It's part of what we think is kind of core. We're not trying to hide anything from anybody. It's better if you know all this stuff before you contact us. Much easier for both of us if you understand and get it. And then there's other things, like it's funny, I'm on the Marketing Made Easy stuff, and instant results. We always talk about Identifyly, and then we talk about quick wins all the time, and capturing website, making sure you have Google My Business and you're good. Now it's Google Business Profile, and you have things like chat set up, missed call text back, which Jimmy was just talking about. Wonder why he's working on it. Because it's important. Right? Social success, which is posting, reputation management, also really, really important. Things that you can automate though. Text to pay, right? People, you're out there and you're working jobs and you're a roofer and you're on the roof for, half the day and you want to get paid. Imagine you can just shoot out an invoice and we can template it and create reminders and all that stuff, right? Email, and you got to be emailing people. It's literally, I read a stat today that it's, 40 times more effective than even social media. If you can actually have a good contact and build a good relationship, it's better than Facebook and Twitter combined. Website chat widget, right? And then a funnel, which a funnel can be used for a million things, but you should have some for lead gen and then some for different processes in your business. These are all pieces of what we do every single day.
Yeah.
So what else you got going on as you get into this holiday, Jimmy? What are you going to reflect on?
I'm reflecting on, I've had a great year with the grandson coming and the daughter getting married. I'm just, still reeling in the benefits of the positiveness happening. So I'm really looking for what's next, because I have so much great stuff that's happened in the past. Now it's, what can I do now? What can I turn that little screw another quarter inch or half turn to get us dialed in to go to the next step, if you will. So I'm just going to be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. I like that thought pattern. What's next? And I want pictures, man. I want lots of pictures this weekend. It's not even a weekend. It feels like a weekend.
I know it's not.
It feels like Friday right now.
And yeah, and then one of the things I'm spending time on this weekend is one of our clients really wants to do some tracking. We call it attribution. and we'll do more about this next week, but when you're doing an ad and you're using a link, well, Google gives us this UTM parameters. I'm getting technical, I apologize, but we're
No,
able
I
to
like it.
track them all the way down from where it came from to when they first touched to where they last touched. Then they became an appointment, then they closed, and they can come back and look at how much money they spent and then divide it all out to say that this one customer we won, this carrier was a $13,000 sale, and it came from a Facebook ad. My cost per click, my cost per lead, my cost per sale. My head's really in those kind of numbers all this weekend. So we'll talk a little bit more about that next week.
Yeah, hey, next week I think that could be a great topic. I'm trying to get us off of the screen share here. Here's what I'm trying to do. Okay.
Hey, everybody, I'm back.
Yeah, we're back full size.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the ability that we have and we can deliver and help people with about tracking. Like, people don't understand. And we always talk about being creepy and not being creepy.
Right.
But as of late, like, one of the things that I've been doing is, when I'm in the office and people are live time, we can see what they're doing on our websites. Like, shortly after, I'm happy to reach out to them and I call myself out on it. I'm like, hey, I know you're like on our list, and I know you've been clicking around. Did you find what you were looking for? So, it's like they know that we have that level of sophistication. So it's kind of interesting. And just to see with the Identifyly lately and the amount of email that we have and the amount of website visitors that we get, it's amazing to see how well that thing works. Like, every single day, more and more, just people being identified in our system. Never mind our client systems, like just ours.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really fun when you practice what you preach.
Yep. And I wanted to tell you, one of our roofing clients, you brought it up and I brought it up, but we had a win today where he was up working. He got a call. He couldn't get to it. Our automatic text back kicked in, and it sent them a link to schedule an estimate, if you will. He went out and got the estimate and got the sale at the same time, but he couldn't have done that a month ago because it would have been voicemail and then moved on. They went from "I missed you" to scheduling an appointment, and he had a little video underneath it of him doing some roofing on the landing page. It was awesome. So
well, again, here's a great example. Going into a holiday weekend, Jimmy, right? We're all going to check out. Well, you know what? Customers aren't checked out. That might be that one day that they get to do their research and look up your product. And people don't have AI chat built into their site, so they're not communicating with them. They're not identifying people that are landing on their sites, and that stuff just goes missed. And it doesn't have to. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it just doesn't have to go missed. You can absolutely deliver as good, if not better, customer service while you're on the beach, while you're watching the fireworks, enjoying a hot dog or hamburger, smoking a cigar, whatever it might be, on the lake, and whatever you choose. But it doesn't mean that, like, you just have to shut it off when you could come back in on Friday, and you could have a whole ton of potential new business where if you just shut it off, you're like, okay, it's Friday, let's start the machine back up. Like, it just doesn't have to be that way. And what and then you go into a weekend, right? You go back Friday, oh, let's fire the machine up, and then let's shut it off for the weekend, fire it back up on Monday. I'm doing the crank because I think Jimmy gets the old car, right? Boom,
1835.
Yeah, exactly. The old Model Rigged T, Model A, and get that puppy to fire up.
Yep.
So good. Well, hey, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Jimmy. For all of you guys, I know we're live on YouTube. This gets put out in a bunch of different places, but absolutely subscribe, like, comment, reach out to us at any time. Anything we talk about on here, like, by the time this goes up, I'll put all those resources in a short sheet for everybody, and all that's available in the marketingmadeeasy.app/community. If you go to that URL, you can get access for free, and every resource that we give away is there. So it's not like you got to go opt in to 900 things. We just keep putting it all in there. It's all available. Plenty of useful, helpful content and resources and tools and checklists, and templates, and whatever you might need. I guarantee you'll find some version of it there. And if not, ask us. Like, it's not like we're like, oh, we keep all this stuff secret.
Not at all.
Well, Jimmy, you gonna see the grandkids this weekend?
I am. Yep, get to see all of them this weekend, this Saturday. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, gonna be exciting.
So yeah, send pics. Big smiling family.
Yep.
And I'll look forward to. Jimmy keeps me connected while we're not together. I like it. I miss Jimmy when I'm not with him.
Yeah. Well, we've only seen each other face to face, 3 times in the 10 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty wild, guys.
It is.
But we still are really well connected, better than most people in their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it was better than me and my ex-wife.
Yeah, mine too.
PK, brother. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.